And greetings, friends. Today I want to talk to you about Numbers, the 24th chapter, verse 17, that says this. It says, "There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel." Obviously, this is a messianic prophecy, a prophecy of Jesus Christ. And many people believe that because it says here that a star shall rise out of Jacob, a star symbolizes an angel in the Bible. So before Jesus Christ became a human being, he was an angel, because the Bible interprets angels as stars. And you read that in Job, the 38th chapter, verse 7, Revelation, 12th chapter, verse 4, where stars represent angels. However, that is not the only interpretation of a star that you read of in the Bible. In Genesis, the 37th chapter, here we see that stars represent people. In Genesis 37, verse 9, here Joseph had yet another dream. And he said, "Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me." Verse 10, here comes the interpretation. "And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall I and thy mother, the sun and the moon, and thy brethren, the 11 stars, indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth?" So the 11 stars represented his brothers. So a star symbolizes angels, but it also symbolizes people. So it all depends on the context. Now, when you look at other scriptures, it's obvious that Jesus was not an angel. Notice Hebrews, the 1st chapter, verse 5. It says this, "For unto which of the angels he said," that's the Father, "he said at any time, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten you." And then again, it says, "I will be to him a father, and he shall be unto me a son." To which of the angels, archangels, which ones, did he say, "You are my son, this day have I begotten you"? And then again it says, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he saith, let all the angels of God worship him." So all the angels in heaven, all of them, he's saying that all the angels have to worship Jesus Christ. So obviously Jesus is not an angel. And then of the angels he saith, "Who maketh his angels spirits, and his ministers a flame of fire. But unto the Son he says," this is the Father to the Son. So we know the role of the angels. They're ministers of flame of fire. "But unto the Son he says, Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is a scepter of thy kingdom." So here the Father's calling the Son God. And he didn't call any of the other angels God, but just the Son, the only begotten of the Father. Then notice this, verse 13, it says, "But to which of the angels he saith at any time, Sit at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool." He didn't say that to any of the angels, but to the Son of God. And then in verse 14 it says, "Are they," the angels, "not all ministering spirits, sent forth to minister for them who shall be the heirs of salvation?" That's the role of an angel. So obviously Jesus is not an angel. So what is the context? Remember, context is key here. So what is the context of Numbers, the 24th chapter, verse 17? Well, notice the context. It says, "A star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel." That's the context. A star represents a ruler. So here, the star symbolizes a ruler. So a star does symbolize an angel. A star does symbolize people. It all depends on the context. And here in this context, a star symbolizes a ruler. Notice here Barnes' notes. It says, "The prince, represented in the succeeding words by the star and scepter. The star has among all nations served as a symbol of regal power and splendor, and the birth and future glory of great monarchs were believed by the ancients to be heralded by the appearance of stars and comets." Jamieson, Fawcett, and Brown commentary. It says here, "This imagery and language of the East denotes some eminent ruler, primarily David, but secondarily and preeminently the Messiah." So here we see in this passage that star symbolizes a ruler that's going to come in Israel, and that ruler is going to come out of Bethlehem, as it says in Micah, the 5th chapter, verse 2, that a ruler shall come out of Bethlehem, and that ruler That coming ruler is Jesus Christ of Nazareth. So he is called a star because he is the coming ruler of Jacob that's going to set up the kingdom of God on this earth. What about the angel of the Lord that you read so much of in the Old Testament? Especially here in Exodus, the 3rd chapter, verse 2, it says, "And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of the bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed." This angel identifies himself in verse 6. It says, "Moreover, he said," this is the angel of the Lord to Moses, "I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." And then it says, "Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God." So the angel of the Lord is also God. And then in verse 14 it says, "And God said unto Moses, I am that I am." Now a lot of people argue. It says here he is the angel of the Lord. And then in verse 14 it says that this angel called himself I am that I am. And in John 8:58, Jesus claimed to be the great I am that appeared to Moses. So they say that Jesus was an angel, but this angel claimed to be God himself. How can that be? Is there a contradiction? Well, actually, there is no contradiction. When you look at that word angel, it should read messenger. And this messenger spoke for God the Father, but this messenger was also God himself. How can that be? Well, we read in John the 1st chapter. I went over it with you many times. John the 1st chapter, it says, "In the beginning was the Word," and that word is logos. And in the Aramaic, it means spokesman, because the Apostle John spoke Aramaic. And it means spokesman. And it says the spokesman, or the messenger, was with God, and that messenger was God. And so when we read here, the angel of the Lord appeared to Moses, and this angel called himself God, it's in perfect harmony with John the 1st chapter that shows that there are two divine beings of the God family, the Father and the Son, and they are both God. The Father calls the Son God, as I read to you in Hebrews the 1st chapter. They are both God, meaning they are both the same kind, the God kind, and this messenger or spokesman who spoke for God the Father appeared to Moses, and he called himself God. So there is no contradiction here whatsoever. It's in perfect harmony. We also see here in Judges the 13th chapter when the angel of the Lord appeared before Samson's father. And it says in verse 21 of Judges the 13th chapter, "But the angel of the Lord did no more appear to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Lord. And then Manoah said to his wife, We shall surely die because we have seen God." The angel of the Lord was God himself. This angel should read messenger. The messenger of the Lord, the spokesman, appeared to Manoah, and that spokesman was God, as it says in John the 1st chapter, verse 1. Now it's interesting that Jesus Christ himself said in John 5:37, it says, "And the Father himself, which has sent me, hath borne witness of me. Ye have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape." How can that be? We just read here, Manoah saw God, the angel of the Lord, the messenger of the Lord. Moses saw God on Mount Sinai. The prophets saw God, like Isaiah. Isaiah said in Isaiah the 6th chapter, "I have seen the King, the Lord of hosts." Who did these people see? If Jesus Christ says here, "You have neither heard his voice nor seen his shape at any time," who did these people see? They saw God. They said they saw God. Who did they see? They saw the messenger, the angel of the Lord, the spokesman who was with God and was God. The God of the Old Testament that spoke to the prophets, that said, "Let us make man in our image after our likeness," was the one who became Jesus Christ of Nazareth in the New Testament. That Old Testament God who gave the 10 Commandments to Moses was the one who became Jesus Christ of the New Testament. They saw the spokesman. He spoke for God the Father, and that spokesman was God himself. He was the same kind as God the Father. And God the Father, and as I read to you in Hebrews the 1st chapter, calls the Son God. And why are they both God? Because they are both the same kind, the God kind. Just like my son and I are both human. The Father and the Son are both God. So the spokesman was with God the Father, and the spokesman was God. He was the same kind as God the Father, as we read in John the 1st chapter, verse 14. That Jesus Christ is the only begotten of the Father. Only, mono meaning only, and begotten is genes, meaning race, stock, kind, family of the Father. Jesus Christ is the same kind as the Father. And we see angels are called the sons of God. We are called the sons of God, but we are created sons. Jesus Christ is the only begotten. He is the only one of the same race as God the Father. He is the only begotten of the Father, and that's what makes him different. He is the same kind as the Father, and this is why the Father can call him God. So to say that Jesus Christ is an angel is a very large biblical misconception.